If you clicked on this video, then chances are that you're dreaming of a career as an illustrator. I've been active in children's publishing, so illustration specifically for kids, for the past 2 years. And from my subjective experience, I have identified 3 paths that you can choose from when kickstarting your creative career as a freelance illustrator. So in this video, I will be presenting you those 3 ways that you can choose from if you haven't already, or if you have some other ways that you can consider in your creative career to progress in your learning. And those paths will have its benefits, its pros and cons, depending on your personal goals and a little bit also on your personality. Building a sustainable career as a freelance illustrator is not particularly easy, and the times that we live in are quite challenging, and I think a lot of publishers are also having their own challenges currently with the raising prices, with AI on the market, trying to cut costs. On top of that, I think a lot of people want to work as illustrators, and there's so many super talented people. It's enough to go to Behance or to Instagram to look at people's portfolios, and you see there's a lot of talent out there, and sometimes it's really difficult to stand out. So it's definitely not an easy thing, but a little bit of planning and strategy goes a long way. And I hope that in this video you will get some food for thought about what to consider, especially when you're just starting out. Also, this video will be heavily based on my personal experience. The advice that I would like to give you is very subjective, and it's basically answering the question, what would I do if I kind of already had the knowledge that I have after over 2 years of working in children's publishing. So I will present to you 3 paths that you can choose from. And if I would give myself advice to the Veronika 2 years ago, I would probably tell her to seek agency representation. So path number 1, seek agency representation. I was coming from surface pattern design, and I had no idea about children's publishing. So I decided it would be a good idea if I had someone to give me a helping hand. And that's why through a friend, I found out that a talent agency called It's Me, which is working with not just one agency, but with a few, including Advocate Art and Astound agency. Every now and then they would post on their social media, for example on Instagram or over on LinkedIn, that they are looking for new, fresh talent. And this type of an ad, I came across it through a friend. It included contact information, an email, with a call to action, basically to share your portfolio. So I knew that it would be a good idea, without having any prior experience, to look for some help, because as a freelance illustrator, there's a lot to consider. You should have some good contacts to publishers, to art directors, and we know that initiating this first contact is quite difficult. I tried to contact publishers before on my own, but most of the time I didn't get any answer. So I tried to go the very first route, which is through seeking agency representation. And the first step was to refresh my portfolio. Ideally, you should know what you would like to illustrate. There are also different age groups that you can illustrate for. I also have dedicated articles on my Substack blog letter about exactly the strategy of knowing what age group you're illustrating for. And then this target group, age group that you would like to illustrate for, or the types of products that you would like to illustrate for, this should all have a reflection in your portfolio. So when I was applying to my agency, my daughter was, I think, 2 years old, and it was pretty clear to me that I personally would like to illustrate for very small children, so that I can get a chance that my daughter actually, can enjoy the books that I'm going to illustrate. So for me, the target was board books and also very small kids, basically the age range between 2 and 5. Not so much text in those books, rather all images. And I also had a passion for search and find books, books with a lot of details where kids can search for hidden objects. And on top of that, also activity books. And knowing what I wanted to illustrate, I needed to prepare my website portfolio to signal, hey, this is exactly what I would like to illustrate. And my portfolio is a reflection of that. So step number 1, apart from doing the research which agency would be a good fit for you, is to prepare your portfolio. Alternatively, you can send samples of your portfolio in a PDF form. It could be a short presentation where you can select about 10 illustrations that are the best representation of who you are and what you would like to illustrate. But ideally, and this is also something that I wrote about many times, I have a dedicated article about that, you should have a personal website, because ideally you just paste in your website URL to your portfolio. Next, when you send out your portfolio, the agency or the talent agency will review it. And this is what happened with me. I got the first initial positive answer that my portfolio looks promising. And they kind of checked for which agency it would be a good fit. And they said that they would forward my portfolio to Advocate Art. And then someone from my agency had a look at my portfolio, they saw it's promising, and they contacted me back again, offering that we sign a contract together so that they represent me. Now, if you choose this first path, I think it's really good for someone who doesn't have a lot of experience like me with contracts and with client communication. Then your agency will be like your business partner. It's still your business. You still have to stand up for yourself, communicate well, express also your wishes kind of properly. You have to know what you want, because this is your business and this is your brand. And then the agency of your choice will be like your business partner. They will help you find clients. They will negotiate contracts for you. So they will be making sure that everything is okay legally. And then you will be able to focus on the creative work. Ideally, they will be also representing you where you cannot represent yourself, or maybe you would rather delegate this to someone else. For example, they will go to book fairs. They will include you in printed out portfolios for their clients, and they also have their own professional newsletters with contacts to all the publishers that they work with, and they will be sending out your portfolio as part of their newsletter. And on top of that, they will include information about you on their own portfolio website and on their social media. This route is something that I would start with, so I would still do the same if I had the same knowledge that I have right now 2 years ago. I would still choose to work with an agency because you get this initial support and guidance. It can boost your confidence. And children's publishing and children's editorial, they're quite competitive, so I think it's good to have, at least initially, agency representation so that you can break into it. Now, the one minus that is out there, I guess, for everybody is the agent commission. It's the trade-off. But if you know what it is for me, it's to gain the initial experience and to delegate things that I don't want to do. Then it's basically like a fee that you pay to anyone else that helps you run your business. For example, your bookkeeper. If you have a newsletter that you pay for, I don't, but if you do have any other online marketing services, then you also have to pay for that. So the commissions are often pretty high, and this might be discouraging after a while. But especially at the beginning, you get a lot of guidance, and you can also get scheduled calls with your agents who will coach you, give you some feedback for your portfolio. So I think overall it's a matter of your personal feeling if you think that this commission fee is going to be kind of justified by what you get in return. Because you do get something in return, and that's why whenever you score a client, part of the payments that you get for the client will go to the agency because you're a team. You're like business partners, right? So this is something to take into account. So we're moving on the spectrum from kind of relying on someone and paying commission to the middle. And the middle ground, path number 2, would be representing yourself. I think this is especially a good way to go when you gained this initial experience. So if you were trying to contact publishers, potential clients before, and you were ghosted like me, and you find it hard to kind of break in and to make this initial contact, then I would still reconsider seeking agency representation to start with. For me personally, I gained some experience and I'm slowly being a little bit more bothered by the agency commission, because this really does reduce the budget, so it reduces what I earn at the end. And I guess I'm not there yet, but I'm slowly thinking about representing myself, because if you represent yourself, then the whole income, the whole budget will be allocated to you, so you don't have to pay any agency fees, and whatever the client is willing to pay you goes to you, of course, minus tax. So this is probably the most flexible part, to represent yourself. It means that you will be in charge of everything, and it's a good path for those of you who already have some experience, feel confident, they know what they want, you're able to efficiently manage your portfolio, and you have to do the outreach. The outreach, it will mean that you have to contact potential clients. This is where a lot of people are like, no, I really would rather not. And for them, then you will have to pay the price and seek agency representation. And if you're kind of too shy or you don't have a lot of success in contacting potential clients, you will have to pay for it in the form of this agent commission. But if you're okay with representing yourself, this is one of the better ways, which again, I'm considering for myself because I already gained some initial experience. Key here when you're choosing this path is consistency and staying professional and already knowing what you want. So you already have to be out there with a strong, consistent portfolio ideally. And you already have to be able to communicate well with clients. So those soft skills, you're hustling them for yourself by representing yourself. You have to be good in client communication, and you shouldn't be in this frame of mind that you don't want to communicate with clients. I have a few friends who keep asking me about job opportunities in this industry, but then towards the end they add, but I don't like talking with clients. But you have to, in this way, in this regard, change your way of thinking, because through your illustration work, you provide a service. And at the end of the service, there's the recipient of the service, and that is the end client. So good communication is key. And these days, you don't even have to jump on a call. You don't have to show your face. You can do everything per email, and this is as little as you have to do, even if you're an introvert. You have the comfort of your house to write your email, to think about how you would like to word things. So if you're shy about, sending out emails, this is something you can practice. And it's not as scary as you think to hit this send button. If you are scared about the legal part when you self-represent, so when you represent yourself, you don't have to be scared too much, because usually it's all about negotiating the budget, so how much you will be paid. And through this initial experience, in case you were represented by an agency, you probably already know kind of what range you can ask for based on your prior experience. And contracts are usually very standard. In my experience, they can be also not often changed. That means that you can always say no to a potential client, but that also means you don't have to write a contract. You usually get a contract from the publisher, so from the client, and it's normally very standard. So the main thing that you do have to negotiate by yourself are the pricing aspect. So how much you will be paid for your work, will it be a flat fee, and will there be royalties? Everything else, you just have to know what matters to you. If you want, for example, a cancellation fee in case a project is cancelled. I would also really advocate that you negotiate that you get paid a little bit at the beginning of the project and then the rest at the end of the project. And that's that. The experience that I gained with my agency would give me confidence to definitely to self-represent myself in the future. So we were on our spectrum. We started with the agency, then there's self-representation. Can you guess what will be on the very extreme side of the spectrum, right opposite agency representation? Path number 3 will be self-publishing. So this is also something that you can do if you self-represent yourself or if you have agency representation. This is, for example, something that I kind of was forced to do last month. I'm experiencing a bit of a dry spell, and despite agency representation, which does not guarantee that work will be coming in, I needed to take care of my income because I didn't get enough inquiries from clients. So this other side of the spectrum, self-publishing, is where you have the most control. The two other paths are dependent on publishers. If you would like to have your work published with a traditional publishing house, which will mean that your books will be not only online, but they will probably also be in the big bookstores in your country. And through self-publishing, this path is a little bit different, but I personally really love it because I tried it out last month. There's a lot of control involved. So the others, you were delegating some of the control either to your agents or to the publishers. And with self-publishing, you are in full control. And luckily, these days, there are different ways in which you can self-publish. And this is definitely something that you should consider because it's very empowering. Self-publishing is the idea, and you can again do it alongside agency representation, for example. It's a great thing to do when you have your own ideas and you would like to put your imagination, turn it into real books or products or digital downloads. So in this path, you are not waiting for anyone to hire you. You take the matters into your own hands and you create the end project, the end product by yourself. So in a way, you are your own creative director and you have full control over what you will illustrate and what the end product will be. There are platforms out there like Etsy, where you can, for example, offer not only physical products, but also digital downloads. I recently reactivated my own Etsy shop. And if you self-publish your own book, you can also try out Kickstarter, for example, to help you launch your work into the world. There's also platforms for digital downloads. You can do it over Skillshare, but also Gumroad. Gumroad is where I also host my online courses. And this is really a great option. Number one, if you're entrepreneurial and you have some ideas and you want to build something that is yours. Why did I try self-publishing last month? I mentioned that I had a bit of a dry spell at work. There was no work coming from the agency. And also something that I wrote on my blog as well, the publishing industry is notoriously long. So a project can start, for example, some of my projects started in July last year. So right now we have April 2025. And I have some projects that started in July 2024 or September 2024. And I still have no books in my hands, so they're still in revision and production. And oftentimes you have to wait about a year, half a year, to see your work published or to be actually holding it in your hands. I know that some other international markets are a little bit more dynamic. For example, I come from Poland and I have a lot of Poland-based illustrators, and they actually say that in Poland it's quite normal to get a project that will be published within a month. So they're very fast. But I've been working so far for the American market, the British market, and the French market from the top of my head, and I don't have any books to show you, even though I finished those projects last year. So this is why I took the matters into my own hands and I self-published those coloring books. One way to do that is to do it over Amazon KDP. I also saw some really cool courses about it and short tutorials on YouTube. There's also courses on Skillshare, and I am also planning to release such a course very soon. Recently I released a course on how to illustrate, how to create a coloring page using Affinity Designer. So this is all vector-based, super scalable, very editable. Working on it was really pleasant. And I have a course about creating coloring pages in Affinity Designer already live on Skillshare. It will be soon available on YouTube. And you should stay tuned because the next course will be also about putting coloring books together either through just Affinity Designer or Affinity Designer together with Affinity Publisher and also with Canva. And then the last step is to learn the Amazon KDP interface and learn how to upload such a book so that it's available on all Amazon marketplaces. And it was relatively fast. It took me, I think, 2 weeks between finalizing my project, finishing it, and then uploading and ordering it through Amazon. And it was a little bit surreal because I told you, like, I illustrated other books for kids, but where are they? I haven't received any books. I'm an illustrator without books, but you have to trust me. I did illustrate a few, and it was a little bit frustrating. So that's why, again, this is where you have full control. I think I made 2 sales by my friend Monica. In case you're watching this, thank you so much. You're the only person who ordered my coloring book so far, but it really doesn't matter to me because it matters that she ordered my coloring books. What I mean is that in itself, it was a very good experience, very good practical experience. I needed to learn how to, for example, design covers, what kind of black ink also to choose so that the black on the coloring book is a good type of black for printing. And I ordered quite a few for gifts, and most importantly for my daughter. So it's really good also to have a personal reason why you would like to illustrate. Maybe there's someone that you love, someone in your family or among your friends, where you could just gift them the fruit of your work, for example, such a coloring book or a picture book. This is already another way to self-realize sort of yourself as an illustrator. It doesn't just have to be for the big commercial market with publishers, it can also be for personal projects. And at the end of the day, this personal project is on Amazon. And on Amazon, you have your own author profile. And I think it just looks professional. No one really knows that I self-published those coloring books, but when they click on my name, they will see, Weronika Salach, she published something. So ultimately there is no right choice, and it all depends on your goals and a little bit also on your personality. I would recommend to start with a portfolio to really have an understanding of what you want to illustrate and make sure that your portfolio is exactly reflecting the type of work that you would like to do. If I could go back in time, I would probably do the same strategy. I would first seek agency representation. Slowly, I'm considering self-representation. And self-publishing is something that you can definitely either start with or do alongside your freelance work that you're doing with end clients, namely with traditional publishers. And that is actually the beauty of this creative career, that it evolves with you. So let me know in the comments which of those paths is the most exciting for you right now. Is there anything else that I could make a video about on this topic? Agency representation, self-representation, maybe some self-publishing tutorials. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!